he just might be slightly too strong.
Yeah, 14-1 record on the year for Loa Cern. He's been awesome at the number 4 spot for Trinity. And we're underway in our men's final as Gilveski serves it off to Chua. Gilveski, a first-team All-American last year, playing number 2 for Harvard this year, stepping into the number 1 role, and he's had an awesome couple months here. A big win over Omar Hafez in the finals of the Ivy League Championship Tournament. Had a big win over Yusuf Sheikh in Harvard's quarterfinal matchup against Columbia. I don't know if I would have picked that result. But a 4-game win for Dennis there. He's hitting his stride, playing really good squash. So
I mean, I think this is going to be a hell of a match. Both of these two are going to be, you know, I know we said it yesterday, but they're going to be fired up. It's their last match in college squash, regardless of the result now. See, Dennis got another shot at it today after losing yesterday, but this could be, you know, I'm gonna say a 5-gamer. Going early.
I like that a lot.
But I think last match in college, you're going to have to literally drag them both off the court.
I'm going to agree with you. I'm going to go Chua in 5 here. I think that's a good take here, Joe.
And if Dennis can find the form he found to beat Omar, you know, last month, then there's no reason why he can't take Jakeem all the way. See, look at that camera angle. What more could you want on a Sunday morning?
V. Costales playing 2 for Harvard today. He's played 1 for sort of the majority of his career. Talking about sophomore, junior year, and sort of the first half of senior year. So this matchup, I think, actually kind of plays into the favor of Harvard, given the fact that Costales has not had much career success over Chua. Chua getting the better of him in 4 earlier this season. And as I recall, Chua chopping him up when Trinity met Harvard last year. David was maybe a little under the weather for that matchup, but Chua's playing style does seem to match up well against the very steady, very fit Costales. Maybe Dennis has a little bit more in his bag to disrupt the Malaysian. So I don't know if this is the first ever meeting between these two in college squash. I'd be curious to see if the record holders can find that out, but I think this will be a fun one. Mohamed Ashab Irfan, the number 2 for Trinity. He'll take on Costales a little bit later today here on the glass court at Spectre. Some jockeying for position early here, Joe.
Yeah, it's a good start from Dennis. You know, always good to get first couple of points on the board, settle the nerves a little bit. And obviously these two, as experienced as they are in these scenarios, it's a college final in your last ever match, so there's going to be nerves flying around, whether you like it or not, unfortunately. And getting, you know, early points on the board is always helpful. Just to help settle down a little bit. And Dennis has had a good start, moving Jakeem around, but Jakeem replying now, back to 2-all. So already looking like it's going to be going back and forth all the way.
And out, 3-2.
Jakeem went for the big one there. Both feet off the floor. Obviously not particularly tall, having to And to stretch all the way up there and just finding the tin. Dennis with another 2-point lead.
It's the error. Definitely going to expect some lengthy exchanges between these two. In the early going, as you said, Joe, doesn't hurt to get some points on the board early to settle those nerves.
Both settled in quite nicely. They're both actually quite similar. Similar in the way they play. They're very solid, they're very steady, good movers. Both very fair, so I don't think we're going to be seeing any...
Both very, very fair players.
Any issues on this match.
Absolutely agree. Probably not too many calls. Very reasonable movers. Look to play the ball always. It's
That's
beautiful
a
from
lovely finish.
Dennis. Excellent finish into the front right.
Oh, that's
it's
a lovely
excellent.
finish.
Such a well-constructed rally from Chua there.
Yeah, it was a good rally all round. Very, very solid from both. Dennis not really doing a whole lot wrong there.
Every shot, just such clean contact, two such clean strikers of the ball.
Yeah, it's lovely to watch. Like I
They're
said
not
yesterday,
muscling it, they're not just smacking it around the court. It's very measured, very calculated. The 3-wall, he loves that 3-wall, and he pays the price there, Joe.
Yeah, he went for the 3-wall, and it was actually a pretty good attempt. And then Dennis at full stretch, just rolling that ball over the front wall into the front right nick.
Incredible first step there.
Yeah, shot of
Great
the day.
movement, and just a little flick of the wrist.
Shot of the
Into
day so
opposite
far.
neck. Absolutely. Another great get.
Oh, he's got
Stroke.
the stroke. Maybe overcomplicated it a little bit there. Tried to
Yeah.
hold and send it down the line. He should
Yeah,
have
almost
just played
looked like
that
he changed
ball.
his mind in the middle of the shot there.
If he'd have played that ball quick, whether it was a straight drop or a straight drive, I think he'd have won that rally.
Absolutely. Dennis embodying that ideal of just taking one more ball back. You never know what's going to happen, especially in a match like this, even against an opponent like Chua. Oh, and there's an error, sort of uncharacteristic from Chua there. A couple mistakes here on back-to-back rallies, and the Harvard senior has
Yeah, and
built a little bit of a cushion here.
he's not looking particularly comfortable out there. And Jakeem is known for being so smooth and so calm on the court, but Dennis is unsettling him a little bit in the early stages of this match. We did see yesterday he maybe gets off to a slightly slow start. He had a bit of a slow start against Tad and eventually came through in 3 games, but took him a little bit to get going. But you can't really afford to be doing that against an opponent like Dennis. He's going to take advantage of any slight opportunity he gets.
About 5-8.
So tight. Oh, he's gone for it. One thing that both these players have that tends to be pretty under-talked about when talking about squash and how much this ability opens up for you, Joe. Oh, it's an excellent finish. Punishing the drive, cracking out in the middle. Feathery touch from Chua, but the wrist mobility of both these players, Joe, is absolutely ridiculous, and I think that opens up so much for a player both from an attacking and a defensive standpoint. If you can sort of dig extra balls out of the back corners and keep them straight and hang in rallies, but also if you can hit winners from odd angles.
Oh,
Punishing the bad cross there. Chua knows it. He's got to get that cross a little wider, but it's great anticipation from the Irishman, now in complete control here in the first game. But yeah, some pretty special wrist mobility for both these players. Early doors here.
I think Dennis is going to need this first game because Jakeem is not going to give him the chances he's getting in the next game. There's a few tins going in there. There's a few sort of sloppy shots, sloppy errors that are giving Dennis some fairly easy openings and opportunities. So we know that Jakeem is very, very capable of, running away with matches very quickly, and I think Dennis has done a good job in containing him in this first game, but Jakeem is going to come out in this second with a little bit more fight, a little bit more class, less errors.
We mentioned a little bit earlier the matchup of Dennis as opposed to David. David, who's so fit, who loves to really close the court down, play straight lines, doesn't really open the court up unless he has opportunities on the volley or from the front of the court. Doesn't do a whole lot that's so spectacular with the ball. He's just so solid and so fit. Obviously, Ecuador and training with the altitude, that's what he centered his game around, whereas Dennis just has a little bit more to disrupt Chua. And for David, it's been frustrating in the past when Chua has been able to sort of throw the kitchen sink at him, and David doesn't have the same weaponry to respond, and Chua's sort of unfazed by that excellent straight line hitting from Costales. It's just not a great matchup for someone as shifty and as quick as Chua with the racket talent. And there's a squeeze to get one game ball back for the Malaysian.
Yeah, Jakeem is a little bit like a chameleon. He can adapt to anything that's been thrown at him. If somebody's trying to play long, hard rallies, he can go with it. If somebody wants to shoot and go for a ball early on, he's more than happy to go and play retrievals and can launch attacks of his own very comfortably. So he's a very adaptable squash player depending on his opponent. And Dennis has got the first game for Harvard, and that's a great start for Dennis. As we go over to number 4's Lowa Cern with a 2-point lead over yesterday's Harvard hero, Christian Capella. Just rolling the ball into the tin to give Trinity 3 game balls, definitely not 2.
This first game I felt like was going to be pretty crucial for Capella, who saves 1 game ball there. Oh, no, yes, my mistake. After how physical Capella's match was yesterday, creeping near the hour-and-a-half mark, I'm sure, felt like it was going to be really important to get out ahead here. And now he finds himself in a one-love hole. Going to be very difficult to crawl himself back after how physical that match was yesterday against a very formidable opponent. And Cern, maybe we can take a look at what's going on the court next door. On court, what is it, court 8? Or court 16, I'm sorry, on the other side of the glass court. And Jacob Lynn taking the first game for Harvard. This would be a huge win for the Crimson as well. Jacob Lynn's been great form all weekend. So a huge development over on the bottom court for the Crimson.
I mean, it's actually a great start for Harvard in general. See, very, very early on, but
there's Marcus Lee of the Harvard Crimson getting the nod for Friday's quarterfinal against Columbia, despite being out of the lineup for a good chunk of the year. junior, willing on his senior teammate, the Irishman Dennis Gilveski, with a 1-love lead over the Skillman Award winner. Can he keep the ball rolling here in game number 2? Stands starting to fill up here at Spectre on Sunday for the national finals. We mentioned on yesterday's broadcast, Chua more so than really any high-level college squash player, anyone playing on the top court for their respective teams this weekend. He really just loves to throw the ball up into the lights. He uses such great height on the front wall to such great effect. We see so much power and force and individuals who try to hit the ball past their opponents. And Chua's really in no rush to win rallies, get off court. He loves pinning his opponents in the back corners, using dying length and height to create pressure. And he does it so effectively. Great lobs from the front as well.
It's a massive first rally.
It's a huge rally. Dennis making some labored movements, but regrouping nicely. Oh, that's too good. Dead as a dodo in the front right. Chua draws first blood in the second. Volume picking up here in the Spectre Center. The Trinity and Harvard faithful getting their teeth sunk into this match behind the glass. Oh, tight again.
And that's what we were talking about. There was no way Jakeem was going to come out, well, you know, almost as flat as he was in that first
game. Yeah, he's really on his toes here.
He stepped up the court a little bit, injected a bit of pace into the ball, into his movement, making Dennis do, you know, a lot of work into the front corners, but a lot quicker than what he was doing in that last game. Jakeem looking a lot more sprightly. He's on his toes. He's, you know, full of now already in the space of a couple of minutes.
Yeah, I think we definitely could be in for a 5-gamer here between these two. Yeah, arm almost seems to have gone a little heavy here for Dennis on those 2 drop shot attempts we saw in this rally. Not putting those in with as much severity as he was in the first game, sort of just floating those drops in. That's not going to be good enough against Chua. That's so tight again.
This is a ridiculous start. I knew he was going to come out fast in the
he's really come out
game, but I
blazing.
didn't know it was going to be quite this fast.
And you look at the disparity between the short shots. Chua really putting it in with some pace, with some authority, going in short. Dennis a little bit more passive. You can't blame him. He's really under the gun here, under a whole lot of pressure. Gets on the board. That was much better. There you see some Trinity alumni walking around in their blue and yellow striped sweaters, the signature Trinity warm-up given to players the night before Nationals every year. Over on the right side of your screen there, rocking a lovely vest, started peering over at the glass court, is the legendary Gustav Detter, who now an assistant coach for Gilly Lane at Pennsylvania. Had a very storied career playing for the Trinity Bantams. Perhaps the greatest upset in college squash history. Over Princeton. Back in, I want to say, 2010.
What was the upset? Talk us through it.
It was 4-all. It was Yassine, now the name is escaping me, but senior for Princeton, who had never lost a match in his collegiate career. He's undefeated, and Gustav, as a freshman, goes on national championship final 4-all. He's down 2-love, and he comes back from 2-love down. Really a pretty storybook ending. You can't write it any better. Yasser Al-Halabi was the man of the name he beat. Not Yassine. Bit of folklore in the world of college squash. The regime of the great Paul Asiante. No longer the head coach at Trinity. His former player Moose Hamada taking over coaching duties, but Asiante is still very involved with the program. He's here this weekend, sort of lumbering around. Oh, he had a stroke at Housen on his racket there, Joe, but he's played through.
Yeah, good to see he played through that one. A lot of players would have stopped.
That's true, and you saw earlier Dennis calling one of his shots down. So as we mentioned earlier, two very fair players playing number one for their respective teams. Back wall boast from Chua, finding its way onto the front wall. This is a massive rally, and the lugs are going for Dennis a little bit here.
Yeah, that was a bit of a tired error. First sign of any fatigue from either player.
Oh, it's so good. That is so good on the volley. He's starting to find his range again on the volley drop. Might be too little too late here in the second, but would love to build some momentum heading into the third. Would the Irishman. Meanwhile, between the number 4s, Loa-Cern, out to a 3-2 lead in the second game. Already leading Christian Capella 1-0, and Jacob Lynn trailing Dmitro Sherbakov 4-3, but has a 1-love lead in games in the battle of the number 7s.
And just to let you know, this isn't the only match happening at the centre this morning. We've
That's
got
right.
the 5 and 6 playoff between Princeton and Drexel, which can be found on the other streams on the CSA YouTube channel. You can go and watch any of the courts live.
Oh, it's a frantic rally, Joe. A little tricky trickle boast from Chua starting that sequence off. And the very next ball trying to go up the middle on Gilveski. But he wasn't fooling anyone. Just a barrage of attack to that front right corner. Gilveski getting the better of that exchange. And Dennis would love to get another rally or two to just sort of get some momentum heading into the third. And you saw that rally, even though he lost it, really trying to feel out his swing there. Really an extended follow through that he held on that backhand drive. Sort of letting the elbow go on that backhand volley cross nick attempt. Sort of just trying to stay loose and find his range ahead of.
Oh, he's got his fishing rod out there, Dimitrani. He has gone fishing and he's not been rewarded, and I think rightly so.
So knotted up between the number 1s. Jacob Lynn gets squeezed out by Sherbakov there. Deadlocked at 5-all here in the second. There's a fist bump for Lynn. Entering the mid-stage of the second game.
Fist bump from Jacob there. He knows that that's an important rally to potentially put himself 2-love up the number 7 spot.
He's gone for it. Really great use of the high cross from Dima Sherbakov. Back-to-back rallies here, back-to-back shots rather. Sort of underutilized shot at this level of college squash, it seems sometimes. There's another squeeze from Lin. Was rattled off. 3 in a row now. Built a nice 8-5 cushion here in really good position to take a 2-love lead for the Crimson in this national final. Maybe we can get a double box with the number 4s and the number 7s perhaps. Check in on Capella and Lowa Cern.
This is the first time I've seen Sherbakov play. He came to one of our satellites in the summer last year. As I think you came to one as well, Bragman, to watch.
I did. I was in Philly for the Penn Squash Camp all summer, so I popped my head in for a few of the Spectre satellite events.
Yeah, and then obviously he's a very talented player, Sherbakov, but I think his head seems to let him down a little bit. He's, sometimes can go mentally walkabout, get a little bit frustrated. But he's got to remember the bigger picture here. He's playing for his team. Obviously, he's not going to want to lose. No one wants to lose. But
he's having some great movement here.
Yeah, he's a great mover. He's a great athlete. Good squash player.
Yeah,
just maybe
Kiev,
the mental side.
Kiev, Ukraine, as he makes the error there. I'm not sure where he's based this summer, but initially from Kiev. Playing college squash.
Yeah,
all the way here in the U.S. for the international
Philly.
heavy Trinity team.
He was in Philly for quite a bit of the summer doing some training with some of the Drexel boys. Got some friends on
Oh, good deal.
the Drexel team. So
And now with Nikki T at all, perhaps?
he would maybe do the odd group session. But he's not.
I did get on in on the mix for one of those little group sessions.
Yeah.
It was good fun. Timmy Brownell gave me the nod. So the magic of Nick Taylor, our U.S. national team coach, doing great things here at the Spectre Center. And with our senior national team, there's an error from Cern. Capella draws even now at 7-all. Once again, we emphasized how important it was for Capella to take the first game. He certainly doesn't want to fall into a 2-love hole.
Not again.
No, not again. Capella, going back to really the U11s, has always been a tip-top U.S. junior player. I think many view him as having the potential to be a very bright star in the future of U.S. squash if he does elect to go the pro route. Obviously only a freshman and playing at such a high level already. Oh, that's inch perfect on the cross. A big roar from Cern after he finds the nick.
And that is ridiculous movement.
Oh, that was
Start.
absolutely delicious.
Full length split and slide into that front left corner.
I mean, the first step and the quickness and the acceleration into the deceleration a nanosecond before striking the ball. And from that angle, being fully stretched out to play that ball, that's pretty spectacular stuff, Joe Robinson.
Yeah, that was pretty impressive, the way he slid into that front left corner.
It looks like Alcaraz on clay.
Yeah, and just got out so quickly as well. Like, although he won the rally from the next shot, he was ready to go again, and it wasn't an all or nothing kind of movement. It was calculated. Oh, and now
there's
he's on
the dive.
floor, and Christian waited far too long to play that shot. And he's gonna
Oh,
get
it'll
a
be a stroke. And that fires up the Trinity bench. Cern doesn't dive as much as he did back in his junior career. His movements become a whole lot more efficient, but he still has that in his bag if he has to go to it.
Christian saying that was two, but I don't think it was. I've just watched it again, and it looks pretty good. Christian, I think, waited far too long to play that boast. You know, Cern was on the floor, and he just gave him an extra second to get back up and go and get the next one.
Oh, that's an excellent boast from Cern. 4 straight in short order to get off court with a 2-love lead over the Harvard freshman. The Malaysian in the driver's seat in the battle of the number 4s. Maybe we can take a peek back on the glass. Tucker's read my mind up here in the Eagles Nest at the Spectre Center. Doing great production work all weekend long. Thanks, Tucker. There's a roar from Chua as Gilveski's ball sails just out of court. The Malaysian with a 3-point cushion entering the later stages of game number 3 between the ones.
We'll see maybe now. Obviously, both the first and the second game were slightly one-sided either way. The third game now might be where it starts to level out and get a little bit closer, and this third game is massive for the match. And if Dennis can find a way back to level pegging somehow, but with Chua playing like that, it's going to be tough for anybody.
There's so much severity on those backhand drops. He puts so much cut on the ball, and it just fades into the sidewall at the top of the bounce every time. So even for players quick as Dennis, who has a very effective counter drop generally, it's just so hard to scrape those balls.
That's a lovely
It's
shot.
an excellent line.
Ball just fading into the sidewall as Dennis was going to meet it.
But it wasn't just that ball. It was a sequence of the 2 or 3 brilliant pieces of ball striking that Chua strung together before that shot went in. Now back out to a 9-5 lead. There's the high cross. Oh, it's clinical from Joakim Chua with 5 game balls in the third.
He's playing in some great patterns. He's using the lob to reset the rally and then just playing straight and then using the boast to move Dennis round and then following up on the volley again. It's, pretty simple stuff, but Joakim making it look very, very, very easy against a very tough opponent.
Yeah, it's
Dennis.
very smart squash, and the key is every time he takes the ball in short, every time he lobs and tries to get out in front on the tee, he's just always hunting the volley. He's looking to play the ball not as hard as he can, but as early as he can. And it's got Gilveski in a world of hurt right now, saving the first of 5 game balls here in the third. Once again, Chua playing through what could have been a yes let or a stroke potentially there.
Got him. Big roar from Joakim. He knows that that's a very important game. Takes a 2-1 lead over Dennis, and Trinity tides are starting to turn. Maybe take a look at the number 4s. Not the number 4s. The number 6s, was it? Yeah. We'll have a look at Sherbakov. See if Christian can pull himself out of this 2-love deficit again like he did yesterday against Dartnell of Penn. I think a slightly tougher task today. Lowa Cern is a very, very accomplished squash player. I think Christian just needs to use a little bit more variation of pace. It's all sort of a little bit...
100%.
Yeah, it's a little bit predictable. It's a little bit bit too easy to read at the minute.
You know, and we've seen that from all three Trinity players thus far. We've seen it from Sherbakov, we've seen it from Lowa Cern, and we've seen it from Joachim Chua. The ability to use height on the front wall and the variation of pace to unsettle their opponents.
Just be able to mix it up a little bit, you know. Cern's playing
throw different looks. You know, if you have an opportunity in the front right, one time go for the hard cross, one time go for the counter drop. Just keep your opponent on your toes. Capella becoming a little bit monotone, a little bit predictable here, as high as his quality is.
And he's very good at what he does, but when he comes up against people like Lowa Cern, who can really disrupt movement and change the pace of the game, he's going to struggle. Obviously, he's a little bit harder to read, I would say, Cern, than maybe Dartnell.
Yeah, I had the opportunity to interview Alex Dartnell a couple months back and sort of asked him a little bit about his junior career, and he said that he, believe it or not, Joe, as fit as he is now, was not a particularly fit player for the majority of juniors, looking at U13s, U15s, and he said every tournament, it was the biggest pet peeve of mine, I would gas out in the finals to Christian Capella. So those two, obviously, a storied rivalry, Capella getting the better of their matchup yesterday. But it shows you how, from a very young age, Capella's always leaned heavily on his fitness and his cardio. And against a player as shifty as Cern, who can match that fitness, he's got to find another way to win.
And playing against a mullet like that, it's never going to be easy.
Good head of hair that he's got.
Yeah, rocking the mullet there.
Punished for the loose cross there is Capella.
What do we think, Jackson? Do we think the 116 people watching would like to ask some questions? We haven't done this yet this weekend. We can see.
Yeah, we can do that as long as people behave themselves. I'm not opposed to that.
We can see the live chat. And if you want to ask some questions, you know,
yeah,
keep us entertained.
Why do they start so early? No one is watching.
Well,
we're watching.
You're watching, Warren Scott.
Yeah, you're watching too. So, 10:30 is 10:30 early. I guess I think last year was 11. It's a reasonable time. You know,
maybe on a Sunday.
On a Sunday, maybe a little bit. Maybe for you on a Sunday, Joe. For responsible adults like like me, like our viewers watching at home, I don't think it's an issue.
And like if you're at home, you can watch it in bed.
It's true.
Get up, have a cup of tea.
Have a Gatorade, some electrolytes, maybe.
Yeah. What you need in the morning.
It's tight. It's a great kill there from Capella, who stops that little run of 3 straight from the lefty. Forget about how unconventional of a player Lowa Cern is, and the movement, and how tricky he is to read. And you mentioned yesterday, Joe, his racket face is like a frying pan, how open his racket face is. Just very unconventional, very difficult to play against. Then you throw in the fact that he's a lefty, which further just disrupts your game plan and what you're trying to do.
And then thrown in the fact that he's incredibly fast.
Oh my God.
Does not make him a particularly easy player to play. Maybe we can leave this one for a minute and head over to the glass court again, see how Dennis and Jakeem are getting on. Jakeem taking a 6-love lead.
Oh my goodness gracious. And remember, the final collegiate match of each of these two's careers. Dennis tried to go up the middle there, and Chua's read him like a book.
That is so fast.
It's frantic. Oh.
That was ridiculously quick from Jakeem. Similar to
Dennis
his
thought it might have been a double,
but sliding all over the place.
Dennis already sweating up a storm. He's elected to go for the shirt change between games here, a signature of mine. Oof, he did roll that though.
Yeah, that was a nice change of camera angle as well.
Oh, not up. That was a brilliant shot. I heard not up, but I assumed down. I don't know why, but no, that was an incredible ball. So Dennis is on the board. He avoids the bagel and what could be the final game of his CSA career. And anything you can do, I could do better, says Joakim Chua, out to an 8-1 lead, looking to put the first point of the day on the board for Trinity College, who, if you're just joining us, folks, Trinity, as dominant as they've been here in the 21st century, has not won a national title on the men's side since 2018. And Chua bobs his head there, up 9-1. Chua lost the decider to Harvard his freshman year in the finals. 2023, he went on 4-all and came up short. Back with an opportunity to avenge that loss here as a senior. He's 2 points away.
Yeah, and he's made this look fairly comfortable since going 1-love down.
He's going for the 3-wall again, and he's found it. I task anyone to find me a better 3-wall boast in college squash than Joakim Chua.
10-1, match ball.
This is going to be putting Trinity 1-0 in front.
Yeah, it's going to be a big eruption here. Dennis not going to go away quietly. Final rally of his career. He's going to give it all he's got. And it's clinical once again for the Malaysian. He's overcome there with some emotion. Nothing but respect between these two.
So first point on the board.
Basa
in this
Chowdhury,
men's
the
final.
newly inducted Hall of Famer as of last night, watching on, Trinity College legend. And you got to give it up for these two. What an incredible career for Joakim Chua and for Dennis Gilveski as well, who this year will be named to his second All-American first team. Paul Asiante soaking in the moment as well with his big gulp on the left side of your screen. The signature big gulp for Coach A. As we turn our attention back to the number 4, Scapella, who is out to a 4-love lead in the third. Still ahead 7-4 now. Maybe we can get the double box here, Tucker, with court 16 as well. We have a 9-all between Sherbakov and Lin. Lin looking to knot things up at 1 apiece for the Crimson. He's 2 rallies away.
Capella is on the road to another potential comeback.
Yeah, got absolutely chopped up those first 2 games against Ardell. I think it was 11-6, 11-3. He lost the first 2 games yesterday, Joe. And storming back to win that match in 5.
Sherbakov making a little comeback of his own. Gives himself a game ball.
And there's the error. And Sherbakov will force a game 4 between the 7s. Lin not happy. The back wall boast from Capella. If we could go full screen over on court 9. And there's another dive.
Again, Christian
Yeah.
waiting a while to hit that next one. He got him. Good shot. Good rally. Gives him game ball. Pull himself out of another hole. got him. And it's going to be 2-1. So we've seen 2-4 games being forced in the last couple of minutes. One for Trinity, one for Harvard. Trying to force some comebacks over on the side courts.
Trinity maintaining that 1-love lead. We gonna have to wait to see who's gonna put the next point on the board for their respective teams. Harvard leading 2-1 on court 16. Trinity leading 2-1 on court 9.
Just to give you a little update on the Princeton v Drexel match.
Yeah.
Hollis Robertson has just beaten Nico Cerner 3-love in what is Nico's final match in college, I believe.
Hats off to Nico.
Just lost.
12-10, 12-10, 11-9.
Yeah.
Tight 3-gamer.
And then Ali Ibrahim and Yuri Pelbar are locked in at 2-1.
That match for number 5 in the country. Top 5 is no small feat.
David Beeson taking a 3-love fairly comfortable win over Thiago Cabrejos. And the number 8s have just got underway. So Princeton have taken a 2-love lead as we have a moment of peace and quiet in the men's final, which is rare. You'll see that in college squash. But Princeton taking an early lead, 5th in the country. Both teams will be outdoing their seed this year. Princeton the 8 seed, Drexel the 7 seed, so regardless, a very successful weekend for them, Jackson.
Yeah, Princeton, bit of a rough year for them, considering the talent that they lost from last year's roster. And have not had the season that they drew up, so it'll be a nice finish for them to be top 5. And Drexel, who hasn't finished top 5 since the days of Matthias Knudsen. That would have been 3 or 4 years ago. That's their highest finish in program history. I know Drexel really wanted to make their first national semifinals this year. Did not come to fruition.
A lot of these teams that are
But
not
top
in
5
the top
is
4 are edging ever closer, aren't they? Each year they're getting closer.
Yeah, it seems so, but it's tough to also see teams like Trinity, teams like Harvard, teams like Penn relinquishing their spot atop the rankings.
Yeah.
But it does feel like a Columbia, for instance, seems to be creeping up the rankings every year. A team like Tufts, a little bit lower down, but for the first time in program history now, solidifying themselves as a top 12 team on a perennial basis, which was never the case previously. So, Lynn with a cheeky ask. Is he going to get a yes out there, Joe? Joe's got his eyes glued on
So I've got my eyes
Cern
on
and Capella. It's the beauty of the double
side.
box.
I'm thinking Christian's going to mount a comeback here, and for whatever reason, he seems to love being 2-love down this weekend. And, you know, upsetting the odds a little bit. Oh, and he went for the little Shabana there, Sherbakov. Tried to fool Jacob a little bit and just break the wrist under the ball. Oh, I'm certainly not happy with Christian saying he should be calling his double bounces. Referee's gone for a yes let. It's helpful that Paul Alexander sets up his big sound system so he can hear his decisions. In-house referee DJ.
Leisure Center boast there from Sherbakov. This is a lengthy exchange here on the right side of our screen. It's going to be a huge vote of confidence for whoever's able to come out on top with this one, heading into the rest of this 4th game. Still early doors. This is it. Got to empty your gas tanks here this morning at the Specter Center. Last match of the year. In some cases, it's the last match of certain individuals' careers. Playing not only for yourself, but for the other 8 8+ guys watching outside the glass. Oh, an error from Cern. That's 4-love for Capella.
Talking about yesterday, Harvard just seemed to find ways to cause problems, and regardless of what the score is, none of them go down without a fight. Christian showing that once again.
There's an error from Capella, points to his temple. We'll look to reset here.
And on the other court, we've got Jacob, who again was 2-love up yesterday against Varun and Penn. Now he's facing a similar fate of potentially going 2-all, but this time the match will not be stopped at 2-all. Jacob may have to play out a 5th game, which he didn't get to do yesterday. The match being over already, and he's on the floor. Dimitro pleading a lot of innocence there.
It's another error from Loa Cern.
Take your eyes off both of these matches going on the side courts here. We will go and look at the glass at some point, but these matches are too good not to watch.
And Benny Takas and Omar Zam warming up over on the East Glass Court here at Spectre, about to get underway. Sherbakov does not get the stroke. A little bit of a loose drive there from Lin. Thought he had room to play there.
Stern got Capella all over here. Doing well to stay in this rally. Just flip the pressure. Nice hold.
It's a big rally over on the left side.
There's too much to watch here.
Oh. It's the joy of the double box here, Joe.
Yeah, I mean, you've got rallies, bodies everywhere. Fist bump, dives. It's all kicking off.
Jacob Lin could be, I want to see that into this Capella sort of rally before I make that point. This is outrageous. Outrageous pace. Oh, and another error from Cern on the back end of a very fast-paced, very lengthy exchange. Capella now out to 7-2 on the cusp of forcing a 5th game between the number 4s. Jacob Lin could be in contention to replace Nick Spazzieri as the new king of the fist pump, I think, Joe. We've seen fist pumps from almost every single one rally for
I'm not sure
for the Canadian.
just yet anyone can take that title from Spiz. Was loving the fist bumps last year.
Such a well-placed drop from Capella there, and Cern gets it back with a gorgeous lob. No problem at all. He's so quick. Just too many errors from him over the course of this 4th game. He's got to stay patient. Thought he played a really good match in the individual quarterfinals back a couple of months ago when he played Omar Azam. He lost that one, I think, 11-9 in the 5th. lengthy match, over 90 minutes long, but he exhibited some great patience against Azam, who was really playing very, very high-level squash all week long. Wasn't forcing the issue, very few unforced errors. If he can get back to that type of quality against Azam's Harvard teammate here in this national final, I think he's going to be in good shape once we get to a 5th game or on the back end of this 4th game. As Wasern cuts the deficit to 3, down 7-4 here in the 4th. It's another error from Capella. That's 3 in a row for Lo Wasern, who's no stranger to a high-stakes comeback. A couple weeks ago, Trinity took on Drexel University in the final match of the regular season for both of those teams. And there's a dive, but Capella with the boast. Nice deception there. Cern a little stuck in the mud there. But in a 4-all situation between Trinity and Drexel, here in Philly, across the street from Spectre at the Drexel Squash Center, Lo Wasern in the 5th game, coming back from 8-3 down against Yusuf Bastawi to clinch the match for Trinity College. So he is capable of that comeback. So the 3-point hole here, and Jacob Lin, meanwhile on court 16, on the cusp of getting Harvard on the board and knotting up this dual match at 1-all with a 9-3 lead over the Ukrainian Sherbakov. Battle of the juniors over here on the right side of our screen. And Lin, it just doesn't seem like he has room to play there. He's given a yes-let decision. It's likely because he turned to his forehand in the middle of the court there. There's the 10 from Cern. Another very physical rally on court 16. Sherbakov is feeling it. He's hanging on. Capella now with 5 game balls to send the battle of the number 4s to a 5th game. No quit between the number 7s. Mega rally here on the right side of your screen. Over on court 16. The stroke to Lin with 7 match balls now here in the first wave of our national championship finals. And there's a nick from Capella. Gorgeous forehand winner, punishing the loose cross from Lo Wasern. And we're headed to 5 between the number 4s. Turning our attention back to court 16. Ooh, played through there. Chance. Sherbakov just hanging in by a thread. Another chance. Oh, what a retrieval. Gutsy from Sherbakov. And there it is, the Canadian with the clincher for the Crimson. Harvard is on the board in this men's final. Now over to the glass court, the top court. The number 3 is Benny Takas and Omar Zam. Takas in his senior year, the final match of his collegiate career.
10-7, game ball.
6'5" out of Hungary. He's been a bit of a giant killer for the Bantams over the years. Some major results for him over the course of his collegiate career. He's come up big for the Bantams more than once. Oh, and that was... I don't know if that hit one of the front panels in a funny way. That was very strange. Zam, in his junior year, incredible talent, an incredibly talented junior player. Seems like this season he's finally found his groove for the Crimson. Missed a lot of last season due to wrist injury. Now as a junior, making it to the semis of the individuals for the first time, which he was certainly not seeded to do as a 13-16 seed. Upset Tag Carney in the round of 16 and beating Loa Cern, Benny's teammate, in the quarters. Before falling to another Trinity Bantam, Mohamed Ashaburfan, in the semifinals. Beat Marwan Tamer yesterday in Harvard's semifinal win over the University of Pennsylvania. Azam playing some really good squash right now. Takas with a gutsy 5-game win over Fede Sosa of Princeton in the quarters. And in yesterday's match against Yale, Trinity already had 5 by the time Takas took the court. So he should be relatively fresh for this one. Takas with authority on that cross-court volley. He takes a 1-love lead over Omar Zam in this battle of the number 3s. And now we are getting set to get our teeth sunk into this 5-gamer between the number 4's Christian Capella and Lowa Cern, a match that is going to have huge implications for who wins this year's CSA national title.
Here we have it, look. Again, Christian back from the dark.
Yeah, we said Christian really is not going to want to fall into one love hole here. He's really not going to want to fall into 2 love hole here because we saw how physical that matchup was against Dartnell yesterday. 70 minutes.
Now he's doing it
5-gamer. Came back from 2 love down. 70 minutes, and the first 4 games were fairly decisive. First 4 games weren't very close. It wasn't until the 5th and final game that was 11-8 that we saw some really tense moments. But it shows you how long those rallies were yesterday.
Lovely shot. Sort of flattened the racket face off a little bit there and pushed that ball into the front right of Nick.
I want to acknowledge, I misspoke a little bit earlier. I said that Capella had lost to Lowa Cern earlier in the season. Capella actually beat him in a very tight 4-gamer, over an hour long for that one. So there is precedent for a Capella win here.
I thought he just stayed on that side.
Almost wanting a stroke there, I think, the way he's asking the referee for a decision. He's not going to be successful in that appeal. Just having a left, which is very fair.
Yeah, seldom do we see a stroke on that high cross that sort of loops around off the back glass. But the referee conceding that Lowa Cern was just far enough away that it still opened the cross court up for Capella. So it sounds like the referee would be willing to give a stroke on that in that situation had Chua not given enough clearance, which is interesting. Oh, Capella's got him in the blender.
Whoa.
Oh, he went for the volley. The volley back well boasts. That could have taken someone's eye out off court.
I think Jackson were up to a weekend high of 180 people watching the stream.
Thank you to everyone watching at home.
And like I said, any questions,
Send them on in.
behaving yourselves. We'll answer squash and non-squash related questions.
That is true. That is true. We would love to answer some non-squash related questions. Oof.
Giving him a chance. If he'd have got to 5-1 there, that's when the doubt starts to creep in. Christian giving him a free one. Top of the tin.
Oh, it's a great touch from Capella. He's left that drop so far up the court against Cern, who's about half a step slower than he was maybe 45 minutes ago.
question from Marshall Graham. Who has got better hair between the two of you?
Between me and you, Joe? I feel like we have somewhat similar hair. I don't know if anyone stands out. What would you contend?
I think I'm going to give it to you. My haircut regime is very loose.
Tucker, what do you think? Tucker's pointing at me.
Production man has pointed at Jackson. I've unfortunately taken a loss there.
It's not for me to say.
On the hair front.
I'll stay humble.
For any of you who don't know what I look like, I've got quite long hair. It's just not particularly organised.
Oh, delicious, by the way, from CERN, as we're talking about Joe's haircut. But
speaking of hair, he's got a great head of hair.
He's got one of the, he's all hair team. He's all, we have the All-American team that was, I think actually I was announced the other day in conjunction with the Skillman. I don't know if either of these two were awarded All-American spot this year, but he is on the all-hair team for sure.
Handouts, 7-3.
He's on the floor again. That's the third dive of this match, and that is ridiculous movement.
Yeah, CERN, we used to see about 3 dives a game from him.
Now he's completely flipped the pressure of the rally, using the lob really well. But Christian squeezing an error out of him again. A lot of hair-related questions from Marshall, asking now if we could have one PSA player's hair. Who would we have?
That's a good question.
I would probably go for Shabini.
Mo Sherbini?
No, Norel Shabini.
Oh, Norel Sherbini. Mazin used to rock that big fro back in the day.
Or Faraz Khan rocks a fro.
Faraz Khan, yeah, I mean, Faraz Khan, I don't think cuts his hair or shaves or does much of any hair maintenance procedure. It's a good one, I don't know.
We've got squash questions. Jackson, you can answer the first one. Or we can both answer the second. What does UVA need to do to get into a national semi-final from HL25?
I think this year UVA did everything they could to get into a national semi-final. I think they ran into a team in Yale that I think you could make the case that UVA was better than Yale, but just didn't match up well on the day, given UVA's lineup and given Yale's lineup. It just played into Yale's favor, and Yale's guys played their best on Friday. And I think this was the first year that we saw UVA take a big step forward in terms of, I spent a lot of time talking to JP2 over the course of the year, who's the captain of that team, and the culture that they implemented, and talking to him yesterday as Capella pulls ahead 9-3. And JP was pretty bummed because, it felt like for them this year, they did all the right things. He looked back after his junior year, did JP last season, and it was very clear that they knew what they had to change. They knew what they had to do differently to be more competitive. And felt like they did all these things, and this year, sort of looking back, it's unclear what they could have done differently. I think the answer is nothing, but you just got to keep stacking those seasons because teams like Harvard, teams like Trinity are disciplined or doing the right things year round, and as talented as UVA is, they have to continue to establish that culture year in, year out of doing the right things, stacking days, stacking weeks, stacking months, stacking years of putting in that work and being smart about taking care of their bodies, their minds, their sleeps, their diets, all the monotonous stuff away from the squash court. It sounds like they did that this year, and hats off to them. They had a great season. I don't care where they finished in the rankings. To me, they were certainly one of the 4 or 5 best teams, and really played up to their potential this year. Even though their ranking is the same as it was last year, finishing tied for 7th, I think this is a much new and improved UVA team. So hats off to them on a great year of college squash. And Capella now, he can taste it. I mean, Joe, I don't believe this at all.
He did it yesterday against Dartnell, and to be able to come from 2-0 down again with 7 match balls, obviously it's not over yet, but it's looking like a formality.
Took on another junior rival of his in the quarterfinals. Harvard's matchup against Columbia. Ahmed Hawk, very talented freshman that he beat in 4 games on Saturday, a 5-game win against Dartnell. And once again, for the second day in a row, clawing back from 2-love down to get a win for his team, a match that it felt like Harvard was going to need if they were going to have a chance today. Looking to put the finishing touches on this one.
And this has been an incredible performance from Capella. He was looking down and out in the first 2. CERN playing incredibly well, and then he's done it.
And there it is.
3 match for Harvard, 2 games to do, 7-11, 7-11, 11-6, 11-5, 11-3.
Great show of respect between the two. CERN's
Yeah, it's good
obviously
to
going to be gutted that he's not converted back from a fairly comfortable first 2 games. But that puts Harvard 2-1 in front, and that is another spectacular win in the weekend of Christian to Capella. He's probably up there for MVP of the event, I'm guessing.
My gosh.
He's got to be, I think.
Oh my gosh, absolutely.
As we see, another very, very tight encounter.
It's another
at the
big
number 3 spot, with Takas with a 1-love lead, and now within 1.
You'd think Omar might be the slight favorite here, but Takas is, in big matches, has played up to his opponents on so many occasions and has gotten wins that you didn't think he would. There's the dive from Azam.
Omar's diving now.
A rare dive from Azam, and that's what the national finals brings out.
Okay, as they get in the court, White Jackson. Next question from P-Dub Squash. Did either of you guys play in college? No, I will go first. I did not play in college. I am the coach here at the Spectre Centre, so took a slightly different route through squash. Jackson, obviously you play at Denison.
I do, yes. I just we finished what was my junior season at Denison, so got a couple months left of this year and 1 more to go, senior year, kicking off next fall. So I'm in the midst of it right now, obviously playing at a much lower level than the individuals that we're watching today, but having a blast and having an incredible experience playing college squash myself. It's a pretty special sport. I think you reffed one of our you didn't ref me, Joe, but you reffed one of our my teammates.
Did some reffing last weekend.
Last weekend at the divisional nationals, and Denison, for the first time in men's varsity history, 25th in the country, top 25, which was a sort of a lofty goal of ours all year, and it came to fruition. So very successful season for us.
Yeah, it was good.
So shout out to the Big Red. Shout out to the Big Red boys. And the Big Red ladies who finished top 20, who won the Liberty League for the first time this year. So shout out. Good year for Denison squash.
It was a good weekend of squash. I did refuse the refereeing duties this weekend. Didn't.
This is much more fun, isn't it? Than getting yelled at by parents. Oh no. Oh, and it's and that was not a softly hit ball by Azam.
It's gone for the let ball.
And Takas, I mean, he didn't get walloped, but he got hit pretty hard there, and instantly turns to the ref and says, Azam was going for the boast there. That's a yes let. That's not a stroke.
Just looking at the replay, actually hit his racket. So he got away with away with a bruise. A bruise on his calf. Another question from Marshall Graham, not hair related this time.
Okay.
Do you have any teams that are not in the top 12?
I don't know if it's gone the wrong way. Ugh. No, I disagree with that assessment from the referee there, Joe. I think Takas, there's a little interference there, but Takas is a big guy. I think the line was sort of behind him there. I don't know how Takas can clear off that ball any better. Sorry, continue.
Is there any teams who are not in the top 12 that you think will break the top 12 soon?
Well, MIT had a very nice season this year, as there's Takas going up the middle. Finished 13th. They were 1 match away from being top 12. They played Williams, actually, the last match of the regular season. They were 12 at that point. Williams was 13, and Williams getting the win there, booking their spot at Nationals this year on the men's side. That would be one. I think that it seems like Terry Legoux, the former world #1, of course, is building a nice program there at MIT. It sounds like the U.S. Naval Academy is going to have a very strong team next year. I'm not sure if they're going to quite be top 12 caliber, but they're going to be right around there. They'll be top 13 or 14, I think.
Ooh.
Oh, and there's a tumble. Another towel. As we were commenting on yesterday, Joe, the white towel being thrown on court, not a sign of surrender.
Yeah, just a sign of
sweat. Sweat, and it's moist. A lot of people don't like that word. What do you think of moist, Joe?
Not sure. Going to stay impartial on the word moist, I think.
Neutral.
Yeah. Any women's top teams you think that are going to break top 12?
You know, Amherst had a great year, where 2 years ago they were 17th in the country. Last year they were 14th, and this year they came into nationals 10th. They ended up finishing 12th. But they were sort of a breakout team. You know, Middlebury had a really nice season this year. They finished 13th, jumped a few spots in the rankings. Or actually, did they were seeded 13th heading in the divisionals. They might have finished 14th, actually. But yeah, on the women's side, I don't know if there's as clear of an answer. Let's pull up the rankings. Obviously, Columbia was 15th this year heading into nationals. They actually, maybe they finished 13th at Columbia. I'm trying to remember who. Do you remember who won the divisionals on the women's side this past weekend?
It was Columbia, wasn't it?
It was Columbia, I think. Yeah. So I guess they would be the answer, but also they're generally in the top 12. This is sort of the first
I
year
was
that they were.
surprised to see them here, the women's team here last weekend.
So, you know, and maybe, who knows if they keep on climbing the Denison Big Red one day. I think 2 years ago, 28th in the country. Last year, I don't know if they're 23rd, and this year, top 20. So they keep on rising. Who knows? No, it's got to be a no let. I agree completely. And Taka staying alive here in the second. Meanwhile, over on courts, what is that? Court 16 between the number 8s, Daniel Simon taking the first game over Segev Rome, 11-6 in 12 minutes. Out to a 1-0 lead for Trinity. And Hazefa Ibrahim and Maddox Moxham getting warmed up on court number 9.
That'll be an interesting one.
That'll be a really interesting one. Certainly a clash of styles in that matchup.
You see the Harvard boys on the right side looking very relaxed. Alex Broadbridge doesn't look like he's about to play in a Nationals final.
Takas real locked in here. Some self-talk.
Oh, it's a great weighted shot.
So good.
Claw back a chance at this second game.
Excellent dying length there from Azam, who appears to be serving from the left service box on handout. Interesting choice. That'll be a stroke. It's too loose. It's too loose.
Can you do it this time of asking? Take a very important 2-love lead.
It's a no let again. Yes, he's running to his back, Joe.
Yeah, big raw. Takas.
And Azam now finding himself in a 2-love hole against Takas, who time and time again shows up on the biggest occasions. Can he do it one final time? The senior, a game away from bringing Trinity back even with the Crimson, as we take a look now at the number 8, Daniel Simon, taking on Segev Rome.
You will be able to answer this question, Jackson. Which individual player had the best record this season?
Which individual player had the best record in college squash this year? Well, Winston Tang was undefeated for the Navy boys, who I'm not sure who was awarded an All-American spot this year, but to me that warrants an All-American selection. Obviously, he's not playing necessarily the caliber day in, day out of a lot of the top guys, but actually had a win over Nico Cerna, had some big wins this year, and the volume too. Navy plays 1 million matches, and to have won, I mean, let's have a look. He won over 20 matches without losing. To me, it's like, how's he not at least a second-team All-American? 27-0 on the year was Winston.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive.
So that's pretty nuts.
What about the women's side?
On the women's side, who are the most?
I'm going to guess at Zaina.
Yes, Sam Jaffe was undefeated, playing predominantly 5 and 6 for Princeton. At least, thus far. She'll take the court later today against Ali Stoddard of Penn, who she beat in the Ivy League semis, or Ivy League finals rather, a few weeks ago. But Jaffe 15-0 on the year, probably playing far too low on that Princeton ladder. Should be closer to 3 or 4. Former top junior from the U.S. So she has the most wins without a loss this year. Dixon Hill playing in the middle of the lineup for Harvard, mostly 6 and 7 in their lineup. She's been big so far this weekend for the Crimson at 13-0. And Sahila Ismail, 13-0 as well, playing a spot or 2 lower than she's used to this year, playing 4 for Penn after predominantly playing on the top court for the Quakers the past couple of years. So Sahila 13-0 in her junior season. Some impressive.
Good stats there. Which you
Impressive,
can find
impressive
on
years.
the CSA Club Locker, I believe. If you just go over and
That's what I'm looking at. My memory is sharp, but not that sharp. So
you can take a look at yourself. See here, the number 8's going at it. Daniel Simon, scoreboard-wise, looks like he's taking a fairly comfortable first game. This game's getting a little bit scrappy.
Daniel Simon, much like Manny Takas, Hungarian from Budapest, Hungary, in his senior season as well. This will be the final match of his collegiate career. To battle with the Israeli Segev Rome in his sophomore season. Up and down year for Segev.
The way this match is going, Jackson, we might be going over the allotted time until 3 p.m.
Yeah. And for an hour 45, still in the second wave here. Play some lengthy contests here.
Especially lower down the order, it's always going to be a little bit longer. if that maybe has something to do with the Princeton-Drexel match that's happening. Princeton, who have actually got a 4-love lead over Drexel. Sean Murphy, the Irishman, in a 5th game battle. He does a double box.
Two Hungarians for the Trinity Bantams, the 3s and the 8s. Azam looking to stay alive here. He's trailing again in the 3rd. The Trinity boys fired up here. Willing Takasan one final time. Takas, after wiping down the floor, taking that towel straight to the face, which is tough to watch for a germaphobe like myself.
Can't be too hygienic. Get the hand sanitizer out. Takas really playing very, very well here to take 2-love lead over Omar Azam is no mean feat. He beat Marwan of Penn yesterday.
Oh, and that one's put into the floor by Azam. Takas to 7-3. Now we're sharing the towel, a little towel off for Azam. And there goes Takas.
Azam going to need a big comeback in this game as a reverse boast goes around and he's forced him to hit the ball out.
Three rallies to go for Takas to close out his college career with a win. Meanwhile, Maddox Moxham with a game ball up 10-9 in the first game against Hazefa Ibrahim over on court number 9.
We all know it's going to go to 5-4, Jackson. It just depends which way. Each match is pretty back and forth, sending the scoreline back and forth.
That volley just sneaking in for Takas.
for the,
Well,
you know,
fancy
for the
there.
big money shot there. Oh, Zam on the floor again. Great retrieval. Referee stopped it with the sweat on the floor. Omar maybe got away one there.
Broadbridge still there, just hanging out on that right-hand side.
Yeah, still looking very relaxed.
Very loose, very relaxed. Alex Maxim taking the first game of his match against Huzaifa Ibrahim. And Broadbridge will be on after that. So, we'll likely start getting warmed up after the conclusion of this glass court battle between the number 3s. Oh, it's an error for Takas. He's not happy about the movement of Azam, but Omar strung 3 rallies together here.
Blood injury
Oh,
for
he's bleeding. That's what's
Omar Azam, so we'll take a little break from this glass court. He goes and gets that patched up. And we'll have a little look at Maddox and Huzaifa over here. Very close first game.
very interesting clash of styles. Maddox very solid, not one to force the issue. Zayfa, a bit of a gunslinger.
I believe Maddox's parents, Sean and Kathleen, have come down to watch this match. Saw his sister on the way in, Savannah, who I'm sure will be in college squash very soon. As I said, Princeton full of up in that 5-6 playoff against Drexel, but struggling to get over the line for that number 5. If you want to check those out, they're on the live stream courts on this YouTube channel. Do we had any more questions?
Doesn't appear so.
Yeah, any questions? Fire them in. Squash or non-squash? No more hair questions though. Looking a little bit frustrated. The strings may have gone. Hopefully in the middle. Not wanting to hit with his new racket, just
Yeah, I was
straight
going
in.
to say.
Guessing they're all strung at the same tension. Right decision. Although his racket did get caught a little bit, the shot was too good. Maddox. This is just who can hit it the hardest at the moment in this rally. Change of pace would be nice.
It's a really nice rally from Hazefa. Very solid length hitting.
5-2.
Talk about clean strikers with the ball. He has to be brought up in any of those conversations.
Yeah, the sound it makes on the front wall is slightly different to anyone else's, especially on that forehand side. Can really give it a good old smack.
Yeah, it really gives it a wallop.
From a fairly short...
But accurate and effective.
Yeah, very accurate. And he's not afraid to lift the ball from the front either. It's good. We talk a lot about the change in the pace, and this at times has looked like it's been a little bit of a hack, but there is some subtleties in the different heights and pace of the ball.
6-2.
Zafer looking to tie things up at 1-1 in the second game.
Sounds like we're back between the number 3s on the glass court. Takas inching one step closer.
Now, will that break have favoured either player, do we think, here?
Yeah, I felt like the momentum was in Takas's favor, so maybe would have given Omar a chance to reset. But now, 4 match balls for Trinity to tie this match.
See Omar there with the bandage on his knee from the blood injury. Giving it everything he's got, and potentially.
He's gone up the middle.
Oh, we got crowd cam. Look at that. You can see
Picture in picture. Only the best.
Trinity faithful looking to erupt at any opportunity. We put them back.
It's going to be huge. This is going to be a huge reaction from Takas and the fans here. He's got 4 opportunities.
Keep your eyes on that bottom right corner for the fan reaction. Unless Omar is going to pull a rabbit out of a hat in this third game.
Takas similarly using great height on the front wall, much like his Trinity teammates all match long. Despite his power, despite his height, understands the importance of that. Yes, let.
Almost feels like we're delaying the inevitable here, all these decisions. All the Trinity players are edging closer to that back wall with each shot.
Oh, and there's the whiff. There's the roar. That's a big one for the Bantams.
That's a great win.
Huge, huge result for Benedict Takas in his final collegiate match. Take a bow. Being consoled there by the legendary Coach Asiante. What a moment to cap off an awesome career for Mr. Takas as we turn our attention back to the double box. Daniel Simon looking to put the finishing touches on a 3-love victory over Segev Rome. Meanwhile, Hazefa Ibrahim looking to draw even here in this battle of the number 5s. It's an error for Rome. He's not thrilled with himself there.
Just waiting with bated breath for something to happen. There's been a lot of action already in this final. Just locked in at 2-all. All but a formality over on the number 8's court over there to take it 3-2 to Trinity, and then this is anyone's game on the left side at the number 5 spot.
Another error from Rome. Simon with 9 game balls. 9 match balls, I should say. Maddox, rather. Saving the first 2 of 5 game balls. On the left side of your screen, Hazefa drawing even at 1-all in the battle of the number 5s.
Daniel Simon looking to close out in some fashion. 10-1. Doesn't want to give him any points. Sergeyev doing everything he can to
Hanging in
stay
tough.
in this match, but 8
It's a big rally.
match balls
This is
is
a big rally.
it's a tough ask.
Yeah, he's fighting till the end here. Oh, it's an absolute lung buster here.
I mean, Daniel Simon must be playing incredibly well to have this scoreline in a final. It's impressive stuff.
And there it is. Simon ends his collegiate career with a win in the national finals for Trinity in dominant fashion. 6-5-2. Simon puts Trinity ahead. 3-2.
Yeah, and this number 5 match just got even more important, especially for Harvard.
One game all, Trinity to serve, level.
Zafer and Maddox doing battle on the side court.
One low. And that's 1-all.
Ooh, Maddox getting a stroke.
2-1.
It's going to be close all the way through the end, this match.
3-1.
Might be able to hear some cries from some of the other courts. There's an absolute battle going on over on court 4. 5th game tiebreak, which could win Princeton the match, or it could keep Drexel alive. If you want to go and watch that, it's on the court 4 stream. See the closing stages of that match.
3-all. And that's 4-3.
See Maddox here
5-3.
giving a big push in this 3rd game as Huzaifa just absolutely rips a nick attempt. Oh, that's a lovely finish from Huzaifa, taking that ball fairly low down around his knees, just chopping it into the front right corner
Mr. Ibrahim,
like it was nothing.
mindful of your trailing leg when you play that shot.
Now Huzaifa's just
4-5.
getting spoken to a little bit about his trailing leg after playing the shot. I'm not sure there was too much wrong with that last one.
Yes, Lex.
Ooh, referee's gone with the let. It was an interesting one. The ball sort of skewed out to somewhere Huzaifa wasn't expecting. He went into the back of Maddox. I think a let is a fair assessment of that from the ref. Just watching it back, it was actually on the left side of Huzaifa. I think he may have been slightly lucky to get the let ball there. In 5-all.
5-all. And that's 6-5.
And we've got another question from Oscar Dial asking, why do so many kids stop playing squash after college? Now, my assessment of this is maybe a couple of reasons. A lot of, especially the American players, have obviously been brought up through the junior ranks. They play all the events, they play every tournament they possibly can, and then they go straight into college and play more squash, and they do all the training and Obviously, then you throw studying on top of that, and the possibility of getting a job outside of squash. And I think a lot of them are just burnt out a little bit. Burnt out from squash, burnt out from all the training.
Yeah, there's a question regarding
All the
playing
playing.
professionally or playing recreationally. Because I think recreationally people do play.
Yeah, yeah,
But it's also hard. It
recreationally.
can be expensive, and so
Yeah.
depends where you live after recreationally. Professionally, yeah, I think a lot of these individuals have degrees from great schools like Harvard, like Trinity, like the other Ivies like UVA or Drexel. Have an opportunity to be pretty financially secure after school, and the PSA Tour there are a lot of ups and downs. So unless you're really, really no doubt about it type of talent, like a Salman Khalil, like a Ashab Irfan, it's potentially a bit of a gamble, no matter how good you are. So I think it's part of it. I think it comes down to funding as well, depending on your country of origin, and there are a number of different factors. But
I mean, for example, you look at Andrew Douglas, who was at Penn, was a very successful college squash player, was a very successful professional squash player, and still decided after a couple of years that he wanted to go down a different path.
NYU Law School, he's doing great. So it just sort of depends. And Dougie was top 50 in the world at a very young age, so he had the level to do it. I think he certainly would have been a top 20 player in the world. He could have been the best U.S. player of all time, potentially. He had the athleticism and the raw sort of the motor and the talent to do it. And I think made a different choice. Marwan Tarek,
Yeah.
who played for 4 years under Mike Way at Harvard, could have been a very, very good pro player.
Yeah, and he was the next big thing, wasn't he? Marwan Tarek.
Yeah, he
was younger.
he could have been an absolute stud.
And then,
Likes to go the finance route in New York.
which a lot of people do.
Yeah.
Marshall with another question. Which team's got the best sportsmanship?
That's a good question. I would tend to think level doesn't always go hand in hand with sportsmanship. I don't know if any of the teams competing this weekend stood out as particularly bad, but I don't know if any of them are exceptional either. Sportsmanship. Let's have a look at the rankings.
Yeah, so I think
I feel like Yale is generally reasonably classy. Not and once again, it's tough to find a team 1 through 9 that everyone's great, but
there's
most
no
of these
team
teams
that's-
actually, no one stands out as.
yeah, there's no team that's particularly bad, is there?
No, I don't think so. At least not this year.
I think college squash can be, quite an intense atmosphere and can bring out the best in people, and sometimes it can bring out the worst in people on the squash court. But overall, in the majority of matches I've seen this weekend, there's not been anything, that stood out to me as being really, really bad. Obviously, there is occasions where people, maybe go a little bit over the top in celebrations, or they get, a little bit too amped up, and they start maybe running into their opponent a little bit overzealously or things like that. But at the end of the day, they're all fighting for the same thing. They all want the same thing.
Just a reminder to both players.
They're all playing for their team. So I'd say the sportsmanship over this weekend has been pretty good.
Amen to that. Just looking ahead, the number 9's just getting underway. Ishant Shah versus Javier Emilio Romo Lopez. Ishant Shah got 1 love in that first game. And Irfan taking an early 4-1 lead on the glass court over Costales, which maybe we can cut to in a second if if Maxim's able to close out
11-6.
this third game, which he does. So if Harvard is able to, if Maddox is able to close that out, then we're going to be in a 3-all situation in this national final. And just looking at the number 2s are already underway. Number 9s are already underway. We could have a situation where it comes down to the number 6s, Portobello and Broadbridge, the 2 freshmen,
Yeah, and
in a 4-all situation to decide a national champion.
You would say that, as good as Costales is, this is a bit of a certain result. Obviously, Irfan already within the world's top 50, playing at number 2 on the Trinity team is going to be a tough ask for Costales. But like we said, anything can happen. Squasher88 has asked Jackson if you think that the Browns team will get into the top 12.
Next year it's going to be tough. I don't know about in 2027, but I think in the next 3 or 4 years, I would say it's pretty likely. Yeah, as an Ivy League program, and Arthur Gaskin being the coach there and doing a great job with that group as a club team and coming back to varsity status this year. Yeah, I think it's going to take a couple of years, but I think they're going to be.
Yeah, they got to recruit first, haven't they?
Right. And they've got a good squad that is going to be competitive with a lot of varsity teams. I think they're going to be top 20 next year. But yeah, I don't know if certainly top 23, top 22, top 23. I would think they would be top 20. I don't know if that's a lock, but yeah, I think in a few years' time they'll be sort of back to that top 12 level. So yeah, assuming Irfan's able to come out here, you're gonna need a Moxham win. You're gonna need a Shaw win at the number 9 spot, and you're gonna need a Broadbridge win at number 6 if you're Harvard.
And Harvard showed us yesterday that no matter the circumstance, whether they're favourites or the underdogs, they're giving it everything they've got, and they're certainly showing us that this afternoon.
Trinity, a perfect season thus far, 20-0. NESCAC champions for the 19th straight year, I believe. Looking to win their first men's national title since 2018. Went on an incredible run in the late 90s and 2000s. But in recent years, it's been a whole lot of Penn and Harvard at the top.
Nice little variation there from Costales, just holding and playing that boat around the angles, catching Irfan off guard. Oh, and he slid it above his head. Lovely cross-court nick there from Irfan.
It's absolutely delicious.
Beautiful execution.
This guy's a special player, Joe. I mean, to me, we talked about it a little bit yesterday, but I really do see top 10 upside for him on the Pro Tour. I think he is that good.
Yeah, like we said yesterday, he's already pushing all the players inside that top 20 already. Already a very established and accomplished professional squash player. Now trying to make his name in college history by taking a title with Trinity. First time of asking for him. I've seen a few of those this afternoon. Maybe we could hop back over to the Maddox and Huzaifa match. See how things are shaping up over there in this fourth game. Maddox out to a slender lead.
These two played back in January. Huzaifa winning that match in 5.
That box 3-all.
Looking like it could be going towards a similar result here. Could end up with a 5th game.
Feels like a must-win for Harvard here.
Yes, definitely.
Given the way Irfan is looking over on the glass court.
Definitely a must-win.
Oh, that's absolutely outrageous from Moxham on the backhand.
Handballs 4-3.
To pull back ahead 1. A rare piece of excellent shot making from the always steady Maddox Moxham. Belgium versus Pakistan here. Huzaifa, I don't know. He's got his racket caught a little bit, but
5-3.
it may have been on him.
Okay, next question. From Thomas Hernandez. Who do you think is going to contend for the club championships?
Ooh, that's a good question. Yeah, because Brown will be out of the mix. Brown's won it the last 4 years, obviously. I'd have to take a look. I know, you know, growing up about 40 minutes from Ann Arbor, Michigan, the University of Michigan team is generally reasonably strong.
Handballs
On the club side, Cal is always very good. I'm trying to remember. And Stanford also has a very good men's team. Obviously, they don't have a varsity men's team over women's because of Title IX restrictions. But I think their club team is pretty good. I know UChicago is pretty strong. Noah George played at Dickinson College his freshman year. Good player, ended up transferring to UChicago. I think they have a pretty good squad there. So it'll be interesting. It'll be a lot more up for grabs. Brown obviously pretty dominant on the club side over the past few years here.
Handballs 6-4.
Maddox really pushing the limits of Huzaifa here, forcing him into a few weaker errors, giving him a 2-point cushion in his 4th game. Really served down there.
Yeah, after the S-lead on the initial serve attempt, he's a little agitated. He wants to keep the pace up. And there's the shot making from Huzaifa once again.
And I'm not sure upping the pace is really the right strategy for Maddox against someone like Huzaifa who wants to hit the ball hard and wants to open up the court pretty early.
He's got to be very measured here. Does Moxham does not want to put easy volleying opportunities on the racket of the Pakistani.
Wants to keep it fairly closed down and limit him to as many opportunities as possible, and upping the pace and opening the angles is only going to make that easier for Huzaifa.
Oh, interesting. You'd have gone stroke there.
7-5.
I think so. Just have a look at it again.
Just cracked out a little bit.
The shot wasn't great.
No, it wasn't.
Maybe there was a line to the left.
That's what I was thinking, but tough to say. Maddox is going to want to really close the court down. to get too cross happy, too angle happy. Doesn't want to give anything away. Be very measured in his style here. Oh, there's a chance for Hazefa that's buried in the tin. 8-5 to Moxham, who can smell it now. 3 rallies away from drawing even and forcing a best 2 out of 3 in these final 3 matches here.
This whole final has just been back and forth, hasn't it? Since
It's
we started
really,
at 10:30 this morning. Every match
been a lengthy back and forth affair.
has kept it close. See Christine Capella once again coming back from 2-love down.
And it keeps appearing as if this thing is going to come down to the 2 freshmen, Portabalis and Broadbridge, on this very court, Court 9 here at the Spectre Center, to decide a 4-all. That is assuming Shaw is able to come through with a victory and assuming that Irfan gets the better of Costales. Checking in on Court 16, it looks like Shaw has taken the first game over a freshman Lopez. Outrageous shot making once again from Hazefa there, absolutely flat as a pancake on that kill off the volley nonetheless.
I think it was coming out from the sidewall as well, which is not an easy shot.
No, that is a high level of difficulty, and you see
Yeah,
one of the most talented rackets in all of college squash on display there, Hazefa Ibrahim, who will not go quietly away into the night. This match is far from over. There's the error. 9-6 for Moxham.
He had him with the hold.
Maddox completely stuck in the mud there on the tee. 2 rallies to go. He's put together a great weekend thus far. A 5-game victory over Arhan Chandra of Columbia in the quarters and a 4-game win over his junior rival, UPenn sophomore Rustin Weiser, in yesterday's semifinal win over the University of Pennsylvania. 2 rallies away.
Yeah, Maddox has had quite the weekend, hasn't he? He's also another contender for...
Absolutely. The freshmen have stepped up big time for the Harvard Crimson.
We're going to create our own little competition
these nationals
for the MVP this weekend. Maddox and Capella are definitely up there.
Speaking of the freshman, Broadbridge with a huge 3-love victory over St. Patel in the semis yesterday as well. So it's been the freshmen playing 4, 5, and 6 for the Crimson that have really been the heart of this run to the finals. And there's a squeeze from Maddox with 4 chances to end it here in this battle of the number 5s. Looking to avenge his loss from back in January to the man he is opposite now. Must-win match for Harvard. All the pressure in the world on the freshman.
Well, that was the time for the back wall nick there off the serve.
That would have been absolutely infuriating. There's the boast. Nice little working boast, trying to drag Hazefa into the front left. And there's a squeeze from the Pakistani. He saves 1 match ball. Maddox is going to have to towel off and reset here.
Just taking a breath. So this is his first year in college squash, and it doesn't get much bigger than this. To draw level at 3-all in the national final.
Joe, we're 2.5 hours in. We've yet to conclude the second match here on the middle court. A thrilling come-from-behind victory for Christian Capella. 2-love down in yesterday's semis, 2-love down in today's finals. Beating Dartnell yesterday. Beating Lowa-Cern today. And now it's Moxham looking to also go 3-0 on the weekends.
He's got 3 more bites at the cherry here, Maddox, of closing this one out. There's his chance. He's under a lot of pressure for Zafer, and he's still firing that ball in short every chance he gets. Oh, we're still going.
Oh, it's a brutal rally. It's tough to watch here, Joe. Oh, I'm about to pass out just watching. My heart is racing 1,000 miles an hour. That doesn't make any sense. 1,000 beats, who knows? Oh, this is an absolute gut buster. Oh, my goodness. And there's the error, and Moxham delivers for Harvard.
And he's been delivering all weekend. That's another big win for him. And that does take him to 3 matches undefeated in his first ever college nationals. And that puts Harvard back on level terms with Trinity, the #1 seeds. Can Harvard cause another upset this weekend? We're going to head back over to the glass court or the side court. And Javier Lopez is actually taking a 7-1 lead in this second.
Remember,
Losing
Trinity
first.
is 20-0 on the season thus far. They have been perfect. And when they played Harvard back in January at Trinity, winning 7-2. Harvard looking to flip the script here. It's March Madness from the Specter Center, and the final wave will decide it.
And just keep you updated, Princeton have taken the 5-6 playoff just now.
Yeah, they were hanging on 4 for a while there. They were up 4-love.
Yeah, Drexel were out in a bit of a
Closed it
mini
out.
comeback, but they have closed it out 5-2. I think it was at #2 who sealed it for them to make it 5-2. So the last matches will be finishing off now. Sure, they'll probably do some dead rubbers now to finish off their weekend. A good weekend for both teams, finishing 5th and 6th. Both outdoing their seeding. Drexel a 7 seed, finishing 6th. Princeton 8 seed, finishing 5th. So all in all, a pretty successful weekend for both sides. But now we can focus on the main event. Yeah, Lopez.
It's Lopez
puts us
drawing
in.
even now with Shah. A dominant second game. And it looked like Shah sort of conceded those last few rallies. He was ready to get off court. Received some counseling from Mike Way and his Harvard teammates as we're back over to the glass court. Irfan, as expected, cruising against the senior from Ecuador. This all but certainly the final game in the career of David Costales. An incredible collegiate career for him, playing #1 for the majority of his career for Harvard. Stepping into the #2 role in recent weeks, holding it down there. He's running to the buzzsaw that is Mohamed Ashab Irfan, but an awesome high school career at Kent for Costales, high school national champion. And a college national champion in his freshman year, looking to make it a full circle moment here in his final season of college squash. He's going to need some help from his teammates, though. Unless we're getting ready to see a miracle here. Draws even at 2-all in third following a stroke decision. Irfan, so impressive, so explosive off the tee, moving on and off the ball. And when he's on, when his short game is on, which isn't every day, but when it's on, so much severity, so much cut on the ball. Just feels like there's so much intention with every shot. Up to a world ranking of 42. Big win in Houston last month against Ian Yao Ing. Taking the likes of Kareem Abdel-Gawad to 5 games.
And with all due respect to Costales, he is making pretty light work of him here. You know, it's gonna he's gonna struggle to push Irfan that far this weekend. The only ones you could say maybe would be Salman or Omar Hafez of Penn, but obviously they were knocked out yesterday. And that does show you that even though Harvard maybe don't necessarily have the strongest number ones in college squash, the middle pack, the bottom end of their order is incredibly important. Everyone pulls in the same direction towards this well-working Harvard machine. If you've got any more questions, fire them in.
Now remember, this is going to be the final match on the glass here this morning. I guess we're into the afternoon now in our men's final. Women's final still to come, starting around 3 o'clock, give or take. It may be delayed, depending on how long this men's final goes.
Yeah, we're getting to the point again, like yesterday, where I'm starting to get hungry.
We'll have a little lunch intermission for Joe and I, hopefully, before we get into what should be an absolutely scrumptious final on the women's side. It's number 1 Princeton versus number 2 Penn. It's going to be an awesome affair coming up in a couple hours. But this being the final match on glass, Trinity going 2-0 so far on the top court, looking to make it 3-0 in their top 3. If Irfan can close things out here. Benny Takas getting a big win at number 3, and Joakim Chua in the final match of his collegiate career, going out with a bang against Harvard's Dennis Gilveski. Ishant Shah, the final match on the bottom court, playing number 9 for Harvard today. Knotted up right now. 1-1 with the freshman Javier Romo Lopez in his first match of the weekend.
And that was a brave move from the Trinity coach to put someone in who's not played all weekend.
Yeah, I think it was. I did hear earlier on the broadcast we mentioned that Awad got taken out of the lineup for today's matchup. That he got sat. My apologies, correction. It sounds like he's been he's injured. So it's next man up for Trinity College. Lopez getting the nod and warming up as we speak. Over on court number 9, it's the number 6's pair freshman Segundo Portabales from Mar del Plata, Argentina. And from Hampshire, England, it's Alex Broadbridge.
And that's the match,
battle of the first years. So yeah, there's a very good chance, assuming Shah wins at number 9 and Irfan wins here too, that all eyes are going to be on court 9 here at the Spectre Center with the national title on the line.
That was the match that we picked out at the very start of the day. It was a lovely hold from Mohammed there. But at the start of the day, we picked it out. Alex been on good form this weekend.
Yes.
And
big win over Patel yesterday that we mentioned.
See if he's got the nerves of steel, or either of them really. It's going to be nervy for both. who can take this title home if it comes down to it.
And last year, Joe, we commentated on the women's final, and it was Trinity who won 5-4 over Harvard, and actually came down to a 4-all situation between these two teams on the women's side, in which the number 5s decided it, Caroline Gu, winning the clincher in a tight 3 games over Harvard number 5, Ocean Ma.
See, nervous.
Coach A.
Nervous, Paul Asiante.
The 19-time national champion, 17 as a head coach. Another 2 as an assistant for the women since relinquishing duties as head men's coach. He's looking to make it 20 national titles today. If he can help the Bantams to their first men's national championship since 2018. And how sweet would it be for Trinity, who lost 5-4 to Harvard in the championship a few years ago, had match balls in multiple matches that they lost in that 5-4 defeat. Trinity, the number 6 seed heading into nationals last year. A point away on a number of occasions from winning the whole thing. And now that class, 3 years ago, that were freshmen then, seniors now, looking to get the job done. And Irfan absolutely cruising. He's hardly broken a sweat.
Yeah, he's putting the icing on the cake of a good performance here. Fairly businesslike, nothing too surprising really from this match. But you've still got to get on there, you've still got to step out on court and deliver the goods. And Irfan, not just today, but this weekend has done so.
It looks like Lopez out to a 9-4 lead in game number 3. Over on court 16. So Shah, if he's not able to battle back here in game 3, is going to have to come from 2-1 down to tie things up at 4-all. Coach A sitting next to his former player Sima Mawadi, doing great things in the urban squash world right now. Trinity legend in his own right.
Irfan looking to finish this with a flourish. Oh, he's guessed right.
The anticipation is out of this world, and Mohammad Ashab Irfan gets Trinity one step closer to their first national title in 8 years. He came in as a 21-year-old freshman 2 months ago, and he has completely shifted the dynamic of this college squash season, playing number 2 for Trinity College, making them all the more competitive at the top of the lineup and making their depth that much more pronounced. And Trinity goes 3-0 in the top 3 today. They lead Harvard 4-3 here at the Spectre
Taking a look
Center.
here at number 6s that have just started, which, as we've mentioned, could potentially decide the fate of this year's national title.
Shah has fallen 11-5 in game 3 to Lopez. So maybe when those two get started here in the 4th game, we'll go to the double box.
Start here from Portobello, just settling in nicely at 3-love up.
I must say it will be pretty spectacular to see. Let's see Lopez clinch this thing for Trinity after not playing all weekend, not being in the top 9.
Warren has asked.
Could be the hero, but I think, Joe, everyone watching at home wants to see a 4-4.
Of course we do. Warren has asked if the number 6 match, will the number 6 match stop if Trinity wins at number 9? I think they're not meant to, but they will. As soon as that.
I think it turns into a 2 out of 3 match, which.
Yeah, but then
but also,
we saw last year, like the matches with Penn and Yale that were going on. They just
They finished out the game.
I think they finished the game they were playing, yeah, and obviously, then they just want to go and celebrate. I actually felt quite sorry for Nathan Quay last year, who was forced to carry on.
Which that game was like 16-14.
It was a close game, but in the grand scheme of things,
so the match ended. It was like 10-8. When it was clinched, and then it went on for another 8 to 10 minutes. So
no, they'll see out a game, I would imagine. And then Drazer has asked, who's the favourite for next year? Looking ahead next year.
It's a good question. I mean, Penn is going to regroup. They're going to be very strong come next year. I mean, you look at this Harvard team is graduating. They're 1-2, so that's going to be difficult to replace. Columbia is going to be very strong next year. Columbia graduates Franklin Smith. They're number 3. They don't lose a whole lot else from their starting lineup, and they have a very, very strong freshman class coming in. Maybe the best class in the whole country.
Who have they got coming in next year?
Well, not official, but rumor has it that Adam Hwal is actually going to be joining the Columbia team next year. Who obviously had that big win over Paul Call several months ago, as well as a few other international players. Ahmad Athar's younger brother Omer is going to be joining Columbia's team next year as top junior here in the U.S. So, yeah, they're going to have a very good squad next year with Yusuf Sheikh coming back. He'll be a junior. Can only get better. Potentially could be one of the best number 1s in college squash next year. Shreya Bawa, number 2. That's a great finish from Broadbridge all over that loose cross from Portobales. Winner into the front lefts, and maybe we can go double box, so we have courts 9 and 16 going in tandem here as we monitor the number 9s. Lopez with a chance to win a national title here for Trinity, stepping up after the injury of Iyad Awad in yesterday's semi against Yale.
That's another question, which is how much time do the team spend watching match videos on their opponents?
That's a
or do
really
they
good
just
question.
watch their own videos?
I think it varies. I think most people watch their own. I think sometimes people watch their opponents, and sometimes that psychs them out. I think the higher level you go, the more, like I don't really watch my opponents much playing at Denison because I'm not all that good to begin with, so I have to worry about myself and what I'm doing. A lot of these guys are so good that they've got their own stuff sorted out. They've really just got to figure out what their opponent's up to and sort of game plan and strategically plan for what their opponent's going to do. That's something I generally kind of figure out on the fly in my matches because I don't want to psych myself out thinking too much about my opponent. So I think it varies depending on level, depending on the individual. There's no rule of thumb.
I would say that I would guess that they probably have watched, maybe not right before this, but maybe in the run-up, they maybe have watched their previous matches against the people that they may have been playing this weekend.
Absolutely.
And like, it maybe as a group. Just obviously, they wouldn't have known who they were exactly going to play, but if they've played each other in the season, it's good to go and look back and analyse where you went wrong, what went well, and maybe they will use some of those tools. I don't think there would have been a huge amount, though. I think they're going to be spending a lot more time on the court rather than watching off it.
There's an error from Portobales. Broadbridge back to 6-3. Lengthy rally on the right side of our screens between the number 9s here.
And it is looking like, I don't want to go too early, but 4-1, 2-1 up. Javier Lopez is edging ever closer as he hits the tin to national title. Broadbridge and Portobello's played already this season?
That's a good question. Let's have a look.
There's a stat man next to me.
I feel like they've both respectively been playing 6 most of the year. So my guess would be yes. Portoballos, an impressive 16-2 record on the season for Trinity.
We are up right in the commentary box, all the way up at the top of the Spectre Centre, and we can hear the roars from Court 16 from through closed doors and glass.
Joe Portoballos played Broadbridge back in January in the Harvard Trinity dual match. Won 11-5, 11-5, 11-5 in a matter of 36 minutes. Fairly dominant early on in the year. Broadbridge is going to have to flip the script here. It's going to be a tall task. But right now, all eyes on Ishant Shah, the Malaysian junior for the Harvard Crimson. Swing battle with the freshman Lopez.
And it's getting close. Javier Lopez maybe will start to feel the pressure a little bit. He's got the camera crew outside recording what I can only assume is some sort of documentary for Trinity, and he's obviously got all of his teammates. Nobody's going to be outside court 9 watching the number 6s, is my guess. All attention will be on court 16, right at the bottom of the order, but he could bring it home. But Shah is coming back. Not going down easily.
Yeah, Shah, the sole upperclassman on your screen right now. We have 3 freshmen. Can't emphasize that enough. How will the lack of experience factor into closing moments of this match? Broadbridge, #1 junior in England for many, many years. Portoballos, top junior from Argentina, made it to the finals of the U.S. Junior Open a little over a year ago. Great pizza width there for Broadbridge. So much junior pedigree.
Shah looks to be moving
Yeah,
a little
he
bit.
looks, I don't know if he's fighting off cramp or what's going on. He looks a little,
Especially
little
moving on
gingerly
that
out there.
right hand side, he looks a little bit, I don't know, I don't want to say injured, but
Yeah, something's definitely
it
off.
looks like he's trying to
I was just
protect
about to say.
something.
Taking it tough there, and he
rolled
slots
it.
the Nick off the bounce
I mean, this would be some win if he can pull this out the bag.
with a kiss there. Feathery touch into the front left.
As we zoom into the full court
I
view.
think it's warrants our full attention right now. Oh, he's
gets
read him
right.
like a book.
He's throwing the kitchen sink at him here because I feel like he's struggling physically. So he's having to do
Yeah, he's either
something out of the ordinary.
throwing the ball into the lights or he's really going for it. I mean, how is he keeping the ball above the tin there? I mean, those are some ridiculous retrievals for Shah, who doesn't look like himself. He's hanging tough.
Yeah, he didn't even move for that one. He must be struggling with something because there's no way he's just giving up on this game. It's the national final. There's got to be something going on with him. See, we've not been watching from the start. We've been going between the courts, but maybe we have missed something physically from Shah.
Excuse me, Lopez is sophomore. It's my mistake. I don't believe he was in the lineup for Trinity this time last season. excellent piece of width to advance to 9-5. There you see Benny Takas in the bottom right side of your screen.
Looks pretty relaxed, doesn't he? Feet on the glass. Looking pretty comfy.
Lopez from Ecuador. He's used to playing at high altitudes. Uber fit. He is cruising here with 5-game match national championship balls. Benny Takas is fired up.
This is it.
No one on this Trinity roster has won a national championship. Putting together a really nice rally there.
He's still in it, and he's broke his
Oh,
strings.
the drama. Oh, my goodness, Joe.
They have to wait a little bit longer for this first national title.
My heart is in my throat right now.
Can Shah find a miracle from somewhere? His body looks like he's maybe giving up on him at the last hour, but his mind is still going strong. Keep Harvard alive.
For the first time since 2018, the Trinity Bantams are national champions. Coach Asiante watches on. Make it 20 national titles for him. A dynasty in the 90s and 2000s. Trinity reclaims their spot on the throne as the top team in all of college squash, a small Division III school from Hartford, Connecticut. It's the first national title as a coach for Moose Hamada after many as a player. And you see what it means to not only the players, but the alumni as well. An incredible moment here at the Specter Center. The Trinity men, led by Joakim Chua, heartbreak in his freshman season, losing the decider 4-all against Harvard in the 2023 national finals. Today, redemption, Joe Robinson.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great final. Harvard put up a brilliant fight, and this is where I do feel a little bit sorry for the guys that are playing over the other side. You know, Portobello is not getting to celebrate initially with his teammates, but I'm sure they'll go over and give him a cheer. Obviously, commiserations to Harvard. Congratulations to the Trinity on a great achievement. It wasn't easy. Harvard fought until the very, very end, but you know, Javier Lopez coming through in a tough 4 games. We think maybe Shah's body giving up on him a little bit, unfortunately, towards the end, but a great fight from both teams. Nice to see a new national champion after Penn's last 2-year reign, so Trinity, I'm sure, will be coming back next year stronger than ever.
Abdelrahman Nassar. Austin Crail, our main man, photographer and social media for this CSA organization, has done a great job for the past year plus, capturing all the action.
You see Jakeem
Kamal Cumberbatch there, making a return to see the boys do something that he couldn't in his very successful 4-year career at Trinity, win a team national title.
Yeah, it's a fantastic achievement for everybody involved. Paul Asiante making that 20 national titles now. It's some achievement. It's been great to see them play this weekend. Obviously, special shout out to the seniors as well that are leaving Trinity this year. They've gone out on a massive high. And that is a perfect way to end your career as a squash college player, isn't it? Now I'm guessing that Broadbridge and Port Barles will be probably finishing off a game. We'll probably leave you guys to that.
Here's Coach A, the man who laid the foundation to make all this possible. 17 national championships in his 29-year career as head coach. Showing some love to the Trinity Bomb squad. There's one of his great players, Simba Mawadi. You see what it means. Is that Johan Detter there, down on the bottom of the screen? I mean, and all the Trinity faithful out. They travel as well as anyone. It's a family. It's really a family over there at Trinity College. Pretty special stuff. They've had to wait a long while, but they're back at the top of the college squash mountain. Trinity are national champions. Any final thoughts, Joe Robinson?
Yeah, I mean, just a lovely morning and afternoon of squash. And congratulations again to Trinity, commiserations to Harvard. I'm sure they'll be back. And yeah, just looking forward to the women's kicking off in about an hour and a half with you up here again, Jackson.
If you want to check out the conclusion of the Segundo Portobales Alex Broadbridge match, there it is. Portobales taking the first game 11-7. All net up at 5-all here in the second. So we will leave you with this. And remember, this match is on court number 9. If you want to go find the individual stream on the CSA YouTube channel, feel free. For Joe Robinson, I'm Jackson Bragman. Make sure to come right back here. We have a spectacular women's final on tap. If you can believe that, we're just getting started. Princeton and Penn coming up at 3 p.m. Congratulations once again, Trinity College, back as the kings of college squash.
And that's 6-all. And that's 7-all. Handouts, 8-all. Handouts, 9-8. 10 all. A player must win by 2 points. Game ball. 12-10 game to Harvard. 1 game all. The match was concluded.